some hair today, finally. I've had a freaking migraine for like 3 days. Finally went away today. I'm so happy. And now I feel like I have so many things that I want to do. Also, while I had a migraine, you just can't really do anything when you have a migraine except for lay in bed. And like light hurts.
Migraine is the worst.
Light hurts your head worse. And so it's just basically like laying there. And I had so many thoughts. You have no idea how many businesses I want to start right now. It's a lot. So today I feel like has been a very productive day. I've gotten some things done and now we're going to do Brailee's hair. She's been waiting patiently because I got the kids' haircut and then I started not feeling well, and then I would wake up and have a migraine, but then I'd feel a little better and I'd get like the kitchen and the house cleaned up, and then I would get a terrible migraine. It was just so crazy.
Did you get my hopes up and then turn down right in my face?
Even yesterday, I woke up not feeling good at all, and then I had like this little moment where I felt better and did those things, like got things cleaned, and I started getting a headache and I was like, no way, I'm not doing this again. I'm powering through. And I came up here and got ready, and then I was just like, I literally did my makeup and I was like, I'm done. Like my head hurt so bad.
I think a migraine is seriously the worst thing.
I honestly just kind of felt crappy. No one has COVID. People have been tested. Every test that we've ever taken for COVID has been negative.
Yeah.
There have been multiple tests taken throughout the members of our family, and they always come back negative. So
yeah.
It didn't feel like COVID. Mostly I've just had really bad headaches. So anyways, so we haven't gotten it done. Okay, I'm gonna set this up somewhere and then we'll start answering some questions. I was thinking of doing hair right here. Setting this up here.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just gonna go blonder, so I'm just using like a bleach, basically, a hair lightener. And we're gonna try not to fry it all off. It's the #1 goal.
Oh, is this the bleach?
Nope, that's not the bleach. This is right in here.
Someone said, how did your mom pick out your name?
Brailee's name came from Casey's friend's name was Brailee, and my name and Casey's name, he just put like all of it together. He put all that together and came up with Brailee, from like Braylon, Casey, Kayli, Brailee.
Will you be keeping your hair short or growing it long?
Oh, that's a good one. Will you be keeping your hair short or growing it long?
I don't want like super long hair, but I want hair like that I can put it up in a bun and like a ponytail without having to do something to the back of it, because I live in a messy bun, but now that my hair is short, it like falls off the back of it and looks like a mullet. So I definitely want to grow it out to like where I can put it in a messy bun.
And not like have to worry about bobby pins.
Yeah,
that's
bobby
so,
pins. And...
Mommy.
Yes.
On my hand.
No.
How do you and your mom keep a close relationship as you get older?
Oh,
That's a
I
good
do this
You think
Lego.
so?
Yeah, that is a good one. You go first. Pressure's on. Answer this right or else.
I feel like a big thing is communication. And I feel like we communicate and have like trust in our relationship. Like I feel like I can trust her to tell anything, and like I can trust the outcome of like my decisions, because does that make sense? Like I can
Yes.
trust you to tell my decisions to, and I trust that you'll like not freak out and like because you trust me.
Right. You know, I was thinking. What?
I did this Lego.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Because that door's not supposed to do that. I was thinking about this the other day. My view on parenting completely changed as Brailee got older. The way that I thought I would raise my kids is so much different than the way that I'm raising Brailee. And I think that that has a lot to do with her. And it has a lot to do with just different examples in my life and different things that I've seen along the way. And like the reality of situations.
Yeah.
And so it has always been really important to me that Brailee knows that she can come to me with anything. And it doesn't mean that like
You're not gonna like be mad at me.
Yeah. But she knows that like I am on her side. I have her back. Like that is really, really important to me. I'm not ever gonna say like there's no consequence, but I'm also always willing to like put myself in Brailee's place
Well, I feel like a big thing with that is, like, a lot of parents will tell their kids, like, if you ever need anything, like, come to me, but they don't, like, act on it, I feel like. Like, I feel like you always, like, are like, how's your day? Like, what'd you do? Like, you talk to me like somebody that I can trust and come to when something goes wrong.
It's just our personalities work well together, so we're able to communicate. Communication is hard. Being a parent is hard. Being a child is hard. It's all really, really hard. And that's like the big reason why we wanted to do the podcast, is just to kind of like share the things that we've gone through and what has helped, in the hopes that like if there is ever that communication barrier for whatever reason on either side, that we can help fill that gap. We're willing to share.
High heels so she could reach the
We're willing to share like what has worked
the good
for us
and the bad, yeah.
and what hasn't, and that is what we're hoping to do, because trust me, we are not mom and daughter goals all the time.
What's your favorite thing about each other? I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite thing, because I feel like everything kind of fits into one. And I think it's definitely your personality, because me and you kind of have the same personality, but a different personality too. Like, we both have the same sense of humor, but we also both have different outlooks on things. And so I think that's my favorite thing about you, is like I can learn something from you and also have a good laugh about something with you.
I love Brailee's soul. And I was thinking about when she was born and the way that I felt when she entered into this world, and it was so powerful and strong and just something that I've never felt before. And then raising her has been the same. Like, she just has this soul that it is an old soul, and it's wise and it's strong and it's beautiful, and that is who she is. And so that's what I would say, is like Brailee is good to her soul, and it's beautiful, and I'm really grateful that I've been able to see that, because I think that it's just so special.
I have a great question. Damon or Stefan?
Stefan.
Oh, mine's Damon. Damon is literally the sexiest human alive. You can have that.
I watched Vampire Diaries when it was like currently on air, and I was always Team Stefan. And Brailee's always been Team Damon.
He is literally the love of my life. If I could marry anybody, it would be him, I think.
What was that?
You and your mom should do an elk hunt together.
If that's a question, if I'll ever be hunting, no, I won't.
Do you miss California?
Do you?
I miss California so much. Like, I didn't really find like a group of friends that fit in there. I mean, I was also in elementary school, but I'm thankful for my friends that I have here. But like, I miss the environment of I miss like what's it called? Like the place itself. Like, I miss the beaches, I miss Disneyland, I miss being in the warm air all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone wearing a jacket when it was like 70 degrees because it was cold to them.
It was cold, remember?
No, I wouldn't wear a jacket, and the art teachers would be like, aren't you cold? And like, no, I just came home from Idaho. But I'm definitely like miss the beaches, and like being older now, like I feel like I would take advantage of the beaches a lot more.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing about when you live somewhere and it becomes like home, I loved California, but we didn't take advantage of those things.
Yeah.
And I always think like, what? Why weren't we at the beach every night? Like, why weren't we doing those things every day? But it just became normal, and so it was
It's just like there.
normal things. Yeah. And like, oh, we'll go to the beach later, or like, oh, but the sand is messy, and oh, I need to go grocery shopping. And so when you think about living in California, it's like a dream, but it just becomes, I mean, it is, it's beautiful, but it also is just like not vacation.
Well, you're like used to it, so it's not like special, I feel like.
Yeah, but then looking back, it's like, oh, that was so special.
Yeah. Or there are like so many like good places to eat, and Idaho has nothing.
We don't live in like a big city either, so it's hard. Like, you can't really judge, but yeah, there's just so many different.
Like the place with the garlic rolls.
Yeah.
Those are so delicious. What is it?
CNOs.
Yeah.
I feel really lucky that we got to live there, and I feel like so extremely lucky that we lived there and we were doing what we were doing.
Yeah.
Because we got to work with the most amazing people. It was just the best experience.
And it was so exciting.
Everything was exciting. We had so many fun opportunities, and I think if we lived there now, it would be very different. And I'm grateful to be raising my kids now in a smaller town surrounded by family and having family close by. And while I do miss California and I loved it and I'm grateful, every day I'm grateful because of so many reasons.
Yeah.
Because we got to live there and experience that, because we got to meet the people that we got to meet, and
got to see their outlook on life.
Yeah.
Which is so different from like smaller towns.
Right. I don't think that I would want to move back there right now if I had the opportunity to.
I want to when I graduate for a little bit.
Yeah, but I
Stuff
am
it's expensive.
really grateful, and I loved it. I loved living there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna finish up this section of Brailee's hair. We'll come back and answer more when I'm doing the top. All right, Brai, we're almost done. Can you see?
No. And oh, that's better. Okay. Who is your fave couple and why is it Kayla and Jess? That's what Jess said.
True, that is true.
They are my favorite couple.
Markel and Jess are such beautiful examples of love and communication and just everything good in a relationship.
Yeah.
And they're really good examples to all of us, I think. I love them. They're perfect.
Dad said, why do you start every story with
Well.
I don't know. Does your mom support you and your boyfriend's relationship?
This is a good question, because I think that people assume that because I started dating Casey when I was so young that I'm like, yes, Brailee, marry him. I really, really like Brailee's boyfriend. He's very respectful, kind, so good to my whole family, my kids, and this was even before they were dating. He was so nice to Gage. He's just a really, really good kid, and I am happy that Brailee has a relationship like that is a good friendship. They have lots of fun together, and that he's just a nice kid. I don't know what will happen. That's up to Brailee, but just because I married my high school sweetheart, I'm not like, yes, you do it too. I don't want Brailee to get married right out of high school. I don't want her to do those things. I am always encouraging her. If they stay together, that's great too. Stay together, have a relationship after high school. That's important too, but don't be in such a hurry to move on to marriage or whatever. But as far as their relationship right now, yeah, I do support it because they don't sneak around, they just don't do anything that would make it so I wouldn't support their relationship.
That's all of the questions are about.
Your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Where do you shop?
Where do we shop the most?
I don't really spend my money on clothes because I don't have any money to spend on clothes.
Oh, do you not, because I spend my money on your clothes?
Yeah. But when I'm looking, I just like to look at clothes. And I always look at Shein because they have really cheap clothes, but they're cute and in style, even if they break after one wash. But I also really like American Eagle. Forever 21 has really good prices and cute clothes, and I think they're pretty durable. Right?
I like Forever 21 for trendy pieces.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to spend a lot of money on something that's going to go out of style quickly. And I do have shirts from Forever 21 that I've had for years and years and years. I am someone who just shops sales mostly. If I can find a sale, then I like to shop there. Lately I feel like I've been shopping a lot at Abercrombie. That's been one of my favorites. That's where this shirt is from. And Zara is somewhere that I shop a lot.
They have cute clothes.
And Nike, I would say.
Yeah,
those are my top.
Definitely Nike.
Those are my top stores.
I don't really think I shop that many places. I was just thinking about it. I really like PacSun. They have cute clothes. So that's where we shop till we drop.
Currently working on not shopping.
What time period would you want to travel to? I would like to travel to when there wasn't like very much technology. Wait, what were the disco phases when everyone wore like crazy
Like the
colors?
70s?
Yeah, I would rather time travel to the 70s because it looks like so much fun.
I agree. I think the 70s would be a very cool time to live. I would also, just because I was born in the 80s, I would love to go back and just see the things that I remember from when I was growing up.
Yeah.
That would be fun. And there really wasn't much technology in the 80s. But also it would be really cool to go like way back in time, like horses and, you know, horse and buggy time.
Yeah.
Also really hard.
It'd be super, yeah. Who is your biggest inspiration? Mine's always gonna be James Charles. Well, I feel like he really like was one of the first guy beauty like influencers. I feel like he was the first Vogue model. Wait, cover girl model. Like he just really went out of his like bubble and like started being who he was. And I feel like sometimes in high school it's hard to like always like stay true to yourself because you kind of just want to like mold with like how all the other girls are. And I feel like he was really like an inspiration to me when I was in middle school because that's when I kind of started watching him to like be who you are because everybody else is like taken.
Yeah.
And like he built like such a like big brand out of just being who he is.
Yeah.
Also, I freaking love Bailee Levine. He's a big inspiration of mine too because he's the same way. Like he, of course, like in high school, people try like drugs, drinking, and he has like a motto called Freak Vape because he has like said that it can ruin people's lives and like drugs can ruin people's lives, so don't like try and do it because other people are telling you to do it. Mm-hmm. So he is a big inspiration. His videos are also hilarious, so love him.
My biggest inspiration my whole life has always been my grandma, Janice, who just passed away. And I think the biggest reason that she was so inspiring to me was because of the way that she made me feel when I was around her and what I saw her doing. It was the feeling that I got in her actions. She was such a good person. She served and she worked hard and she was always thinking of other people, but not just thinking of other people. She thought of other people and then she put those thoughts into actions. Mm-hmm. That's what I remember of her always. Anytime that I was at her house, she was doing something for someone else. And there was no other reason than just that is who she was. And she was such a good woman and also hilarious and just so great in so many ways. And she's always been the person that inspired me the most and the person that I wanted to be like. And I miss her a lot. I only saw her 2 times in all of 2020. She passed away in November, and it's really hard that she passed away and we didn't get to spend a lot of time with her before.
There were a lot of questions like kind of asking like what it's like to be on camera, how does it feel, like
well, especially like growing up.
Yeah,
Brailee was only 6 years old when we started.
That's insane. Like I feel like being so young and like growing up with it, it's just kind of like became like part of my life, which I'm super thankful for because I've had like so many awesome opportunities because I share my life with you guys. And a lot of people feel like it could be like an invasion of privacy, like I'm like sharing too much of myself, but I don't feel like that at all. Like if there's certain parts of my life I don't want to share, then I don't have to share them. But the parts that I do share are like parts that I'm proud of, parts that I would love to like bring you guys along with me. So it's not like something I feel like, oh Mom, why are you always in my face with the camera?
Yeah. I feel like we really tried to have a balance. We have never been daily vloggers. We vlogged most often when Casey was vlogging, but they were also like short, funny vlogs.
Yeah.
That are so funny to look back on. And it's always been a conversation that we've had. Like my kids have never, if they didn't want to be on camera one day, or if they just like weren't hanging around, I've never go like looking for them like, hey, we need to film today. So, you know, it's just always like whatever's happening around me is usually what ends up being in the vlogs, or if the kids have something exciting going on. But there are a lot of times when the kids won't want to vlog something, or if, you know, if we're doing something and it just feels like it should be private. It's been a really easy thing to balance because we're not daily vloggers and because I've never felt like, oh no, we have to get footage because we have to get a video up. It's just always been going with the flow and whatever's like going on. And there have been times, and I think we'll talk more about this on the podcast, so. But there have been times that Brailee has thought that she would want to share things like talking about like periods to help other girls.
Yeah.
And Brailee was like, yeah, like I would do that. And we had the conversation like, this could be hard. I don't want you to look back on that video and be embarrassed. And she has always just been like, yeah, I would talk about it. I would want to help other girls. I know like, sure. I know the conversations that girls have about what they're worried about and this and that. And I wanted to do it because I know that those are also conversations that are hard to have. But Brailee was really young, and even though she said like I would feel fine about it, I still worried that maybe she wouldn't.
I still feel fine about it.
But now, like, even that was years ago.
Yeah.
Now Brailee is still like, yeah, I would have been good with it. I don't know. At the time, I was just like, oh, I just don't know. I just don't know if I feel like super comfortable with that. I was okay with the fact that we haven't started the podcast, and I felt good about it. And the reason that I feel this way is because Brailee is older now, and I trust that what she says now, she will feel comfortable with saying completely. Although, looking back, I know that she would have felt comfortable. Does that make sense? Am I talking in a jumbled
No,
mess? There's
no more
distractions going on.
So strong. Holy.
I've always tried to balance. I've always tried to keep like any personal, maybe embarrassing moments, things that my kids might look back on and wish that wasn't out there.
I think embarrassing moments are so funny.
Well, I think because the embarrassing moments that are like you guys, like that cooking video, that's what I always think of, or like the Rattles house fail.
Oh yeah, that one's a good one.
But nothing like too personal.
Yeah.
And it's been hard because there's been a lot of times that people have wanted that and like asked for like, why don't you discipline your kids? And if we say like, well, we do, then it's like, well, why don't you show it? And that's always been like a boundary for me. I'm not going to show those personal moments. Right?
Yeah.
Good?
Another question is, what's your favorite song? My favorite song right now is Oh Hey. I don't know who sings it.
Sing it.
I belong with you. You belong with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love that song. I don't know why. It reminds me of Lakai, so I think it's cute.
So cute.
Another song I really like is WAP.
Shush your mouth, it is not.
I like a bunch of different songs. I like Feel So Close.
Making pizzas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Brailee, what are my favorite songs?
Any song by Taylor Swift and the album on repeat 500 times everywhere you're going.
Taylor Swift 2020 though, like the last two albums, I'm in love. That's all I listen to.
Yeah, I've never like sat down and listened to the album, but I know every song from Car Rides. So
That's literally all I listen to.
yeah, it's really annoying. Love Taylor, but
do we all have perfume in our throats now?
yeah. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? My favorite ice cream flavor is cookie and cream, or like Parlin. What's that called?
Pralines and cream.
Yeah, pralines.
We have cookies and cream ice cream.
I love pralines and cream also, and I also really love bubblegum.
Ooh, I hate bubblegum.
I love bubblegum ice cream.
I don't like little kid flavors. I never have like cotton candy, bubblegum.
I don't like cotton candy either, but I love bubblegum ice cream.
Gross. This is a question for me, but it says, what's something your mom does that you want to pass down to your kids? I feel like through all my years, I've like explained this in middle school. I mean, what? I explained this earlier in the video in middle school. I don't know where that one came from. But my mom has just like always kept such an openly like close relationship, and I know like from talking to my friends that like a lot of them don't have that relationship with their mom. And so I want to keep that with my kids. Like, I want them to know that they can trust me and that I'll trust them. Like, I always want to give my kid the benefit of the doubt until they give me a reason not to. And still, like, I feel like that's such an important thing, like, growing up, to always give your kids the benefit of the doubt, because personally, I feel like when parents are, like so strict about something, that it just makes you want to do it more. Especially if they don't give you a reason, like they say, I just said so. I feel like that makes you want to do it more. So I just want to give them the benefit of the doubt. So yeah.
Do you feel like I've done that?
Yeah.
I am grateful that I've been able to do those things. I also understand that that is hard depending on the child, because some, again, it's just communicating, and
Yeah.
it's really scary. Here, I'm gonna have you put your head up a little bit. It's really scary to open up to someone about things. Like I've never tried to hide anything, like any of my past mistakes or anything that I've ever done from Brailee, because I wanted her to know, like, I am not a perfect person. I don't expect you to be a perfect person. And she's reacted well to that, and it's led to good conversations, and and what I hope is, you know, that trust.
Well, and you want your kid to think that they're a good kid. Like, if you're telling them they can't go do these things and it starts to make them feel like they're not a good kid, and then they act on that.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, every child is different, and that's something that you learn along the way, and definitely something you don't know before you have kids, and even something you don't realize until you have more kids and they start to grow up, because kids are just all so different that, you know, you might be able to parent one child this way, but another child might not react well to it. Another child might be like, well, you did it too, so.
Yeah. Do you think that YouTube has strengthened our bond?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
I definitely do.
It's definitely opened up like conversations.
Yeah. Because of YouTube, and because of the Moms View, and because of the people that I met through YouTube and listening to them, it has changed who I am.
Yeah.
And it has changed my views on things, which has, I think, made it easier to have these conversations that we were talking about before with Brailee, or to feel like, I don't know, I just met so many people that lived life differently than I did, that are in such a good place in their life, that they were such examples to me, and I got to even meet some of their parents, and all of those things had such an impact on me that I am really grateful for that. And also, because of YouTube, we get to spend a lot more time together. Before we did YouTube, and I always wonder like what it would be like now, but I was working a lot. I was gone a lot, and I always wonder, like, what would things be like at home if we would have never done YouTube? Would I still be working hours and hours? Would I have cut back? You know, what would that look like? So it's definitely given us more time together.
One person said, what's one thing that you have to do with your mom?
One thing that you have to do?
Yeah. I don't think there's anything that like I have to do with my mom, but if I'm home and she's not home, I can't sleep very well, like until she gets home.
Really?
Yeah, it's really weird actually, and it's probably I get mommy sick when I go places for a long period of time. Like a while ago, we went on a trip for school to New York, and my mom couldn't go, so I was with Colette and Avia, and I cried every night because I missed my mom. So I feel like there's not like a certain thing that I have to do, but I just like can't go a long period without seeing my mom. So
that makes me think to remember when I would work super, super late.
And I'd stay up and sitting on the couch waiting for you to get home.
Well, or I would like walk in the door and immediately just hear little footsteps running through the hall, and it was always Brailee. She was like waiting up for me.
It's funny.
And I remember sitting on pajamas.
I remember sitting on our tam couch just waiting for you to come home.
Yeah, it's like, where have you been, young lady? 2 more questions. I'm almost done.
Okay.
Here.
Fave show right now at the moment.
Right now, at this exact moment.
Yeah.
My favorite show that I'm binge watching that I didn't watch when it was on. I don't know why. Friday Night Lights, the TV series. I love it.
The one you're just talking about?
Yeah, it's so funny because it was originally on in 2006, which is like Brailee was 1 or 2 at that time. But the characters in the show are all like my age or older, which is so funny because they were playing high school kids. And it's just so funny to think of like what they were doing. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, but it's also fun to watch because it was during a time in life that was more like when I was in high school. They weren't all on their phones. They were even like stranded without phones, and that's how high school was for me. Like we had cell phones, but we didn't use them a lot. We didn't text. They died all the time because we just didn't like, they weren't important. So we would like really forget to charge them.
Yeah. That's funny. My favorite show will forever be Vampire Diaries, except I'm trying to take a break from it right now so that I forget everything that happens. But I could probably recite the whole entire show. I'm watching You right now, but it's the weirdest show, so...
You are? It's bad.
Well, Juliana told me to watch it.
Juliana? I'm sorry.
I like 13 Reasons Why, because it's real. I don't know, I kind of just like every show, but Vampire Diaries will forever be my favorite.
We also love Grey's Anatomy.
Damon is a bae. What's your best advice for fake friends and how do you handle it?
I think this is easier for me to answer because once you're like out of high school, once you get older, it's easier to like see how simple it can be when you're really like in high school and in it. It's more hurtful and it's harder. Something that I always tell Brailee when there's something going on, this is kind of has turned into like
shadows.
Oh yeah, a motto in my life, and it's not about you. If you can look at a lot of different relationships, when someone is treating you a certain way, unless there's like an obvious reason, it's probably not about you. And once you can kind of like really believe that and see that, it's easier to turn off those emotions connected to like, what did I do? And have anxiety. It's easier to just be like, I don't know what's going on with them. There's a reason that they're treating me this way. There's a reason that maybe they're being a fake friend. And that's for them to figure out. And I'm gonna let them and kind of remove yourself from that situation. So that's something that I've always tried to talk to Brailee about whenever she's been having problems or been, everyone does. And it's not like it goes away when you get older, but it's just a little easier to deal with once you get older. I don't know. So that's my advice. Like, really look at the situation. If it's not about you and you can't really do anything to fix it and all you can do is like stress out about it, you have to like figure out a way to let that go. And usually it will like work itself out.
I've actually been pretty lucky at like avoiding fake friends, but this year I've definitely experienced it a little more. And it was hard because like they would just leave me out of things, like they would make different group chats and not text me in it, and it was hard because I was like, okay, well, what am I doing? Like, you definitely like put a lot of that on yourself. Like you're like, okay, well, they don't want to hang out with me, but they want to hang out with all these other people, so it must be like something I'm doing. But I found a best friend. I have so much fun with Juliana. She's actually in here right now. But like I just get to go have fun with her, and I never have to worry about like drama, which a lot of fake friends bring into your life. I don't have to worry about like being sad about being left out because we don't have any other friends. But it makes you feel like you're not good enough to be friends with them. So I removed myself from it, and I found somebody better that did benefit my life and did like affect me in such a positive way instead of in a negative way.
I also think it's good to remember that you don't have to be best friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Like that's okay if there's a group of friends and like you really like them. I know that is hard and sad if you're feeling like, why aren't they inviting me? Like why are they leaving me out? What is going on? To just be like, okay, well, if they don't want to hang out with me for whatever reason, that's okay. They don't have to be my best friend.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to be enemies. Like that's the biggest thing, to be able to kind of like take a step back and try to like process those emotions and know like this isn't you. This isn't necessarily like who you are. And just remove like that drama. It just makes it easier to be like, hey, we're friends. Like
when you want to be mutuals with them.
Yeah, just like I like you, I don't want any problems, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And then kind of like do your thing.
I've definitely understood liking somebody as a person rather than liking them as a friend, be it by like building different relationships with people. And I've always like had this quote, and it's always, I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. So I keep those 4 people like really close to me. I have a bunch of different friends, but I'd rather hang out with my close friends. So
Hey, Brailee said when it's finished. Thanks for
we'll
all
do
the questions.
We'll be like,
so pretty. I love it. Do you like how it turned out?
Yes,
That's
I'm
really
so happy
pretty.
I miss being blonde.
She wants to go a little blonder, but we're just going to go a little blonder slowly so you can still see that there's like some warmth and some of the dark, but that's okay. It's good to do a gradual change. It might have been a little shocking if it was super blonde.
Yeah.
There it is. Thanks everyone for your questions, for hanging out with us while we changed Brailee's hair.
Yep.
We'll be doing it again, so let us know if you would want another Q&A or another video like this. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Layla.
Can I wear black boots?